Hi everyone, how are you doing? I hope you all are having a great day. Hope you've had a great weekend so far. Actually, it's weekend is just about over. It's Sunday night, so I'm doing a pretty much of a late recording of this podcast. It's a little, I think it's just a little bit too late to be doing live. Everybody's going to bed, so I'll just do a recording and I'll just drop it whenever you are ready and awake, maybe tomorrow morning. You can watch this, but anyway, I'm just saying hello. How are you? Not much stuff happening this weekend. Our faves are wherever they are, hopefully hanging out under a tree somewhere, and that's where we like them. That's cool. They are doing their thing, and I'm very much happy about that. Let them just do their thing wherever they are. And but it's just very interesting. Again, not much going on at all. But anyway, before we even get to that, welcome. This is Facts and Two Cents. This is Pedal. As you know, we're a channel that supports the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry, Meghan, Archie, Baby Lily, Mama Doria, Pula, Guy, the chickens, the Invictus community, all of us here at Sussex Squad, all part of one big family. And so we are very, very, very happy to be together doing what we love to do, defending our faves and highlighting that they do what they do, and plus a bunch of other stuff as well. Not just that. So we are, very educated people in all areas. So we have conversations about all of that, but predominantly about our faves. So, anyways, it's so funny because today I was just thinking about, probably it's just the photographer in me, just thinking about photographs, and for no reason at all. I was just thinking of these, no reason at all. And I was like, oh, just such beautiful photos. Obviously, I'm the one on the left is Harry and Meghan when they were still in the UK. And then this one is from last Christmas with the Sussex family, as we all know. But I don't know. I was just, again, no particular reason. And I've probably just, been thinking about photography and just, a very talented, creative duo. And of course, we know this is from The Hague at the Invictus Games, but it's kind of like Harry and Meghan coming and going. Well, that's not Harry on the right, but one of the participants for the Invictus Games, hanging out with Meghan on the first day that they were there. Well, actually, is it the first day? Yeah, actually, it was the morning. I think they would. Oh gosh, I think I'm getting my thing all mixed up. But anyways, this is what the beginning of the Invictus Games. It is a little late. My mind ain't working right. But it's fine. But again, but it's just, I don't know. I was just thinking of all the just photography, and I think also too because I was thinking about just how in the last say month or so there's just this big thing about photography with all the British press, just they were on this tear after the Jubilee, just what so desperate to down the Sussexes that they've come up with all these crazy narratives about the Queen banning Harry and Meghan, from bringing a photographer to take baby Lily's photos and all of those things. And they were just going in on that stuff. I mean, we remember these headlines, it was crazy. I'm like, really? That's what you're talking about? Let me just take down this banner. And again, I always, whenever I take it down, I'm always reminding people, just do it. That little scrolly thing at the bottom says subscribe if you haven't, and click on notification bells so that you know when we drop a video. And also join our channel. You can join our 2 cents crew and support the channel monetarily every month. We're most grateful for that. Thank you so much for your generosity, for all of those who have contributed. But we're going to take that away for a second so that way we can read all of what is here. So again, back to the Queen banning photographers from taking her picture with Lilibet, and I don't. It's just the strangest thing to me that and you would think these people who claim to know Harry so much, this would not be the headline that they would go for. It, and you're like, I thought you guys said you know who Harry was. So then if you do, why is this the headline you're going for? It's like, as we see in the Daily Mail, like the Queen banned Harry and Meghan from having a photographer capture the moment when she met her great-granddaughter Lilibet. The Queen banned the Sussexes from having photo of the monarchs meeting Lilibet. It is believed that the 96-year-old met Harry and Meghan's daughter on Thursday. The couple reportedly denied having a private photographer there. And it's like, are you really, like, you claim to know Harry? And we know it. And of course, all of these are the royal families. This is their rota. So that's why I'm using their rota, their press. This is who represents and who speaks for the royal family. So that's why I use their press for this. And it expresses the Queen banned Harry and Meghan from photographing private meeting with Lilibet. The Queen refused to allow Harry and Meghan to bring a photographer to capture their first meeting with their daughter Lilibet when the Sussexes visited the U.S. last weekend. And then the Sun chimed in. The Queen banned Harry and Meghan from bringing a photographer to Windsor Castle to capture the moment. Lilibet met Lilibet. I guess that's the Sun thing now. Lilibet met Lilibet. And so they're all going on about this. And I keep saying, this is about, and they keep saying stuff about somebody they claim to know. Because I'm like, well, if you're supposedly, Harry has lived among you for what, 30, how many years, 34 years, whatever it was, before he met Meghan, and they're always claiming that you know him, basically know him backward and forward. Some of you claim like you know him more than you know yourself. So then, like, why would this be the headline you would go for when this is what Harry does? Photo Sussex Royal. Let's just take this away. Look at this. Look, photo by the Duke, copyright the Duke of Sussex. Harry is a photographer. Somewhere along the line, either the British tabloid are so deluded, or they've completely forgot, or they're just, obviously we know they're liars, and their readers are just so deluded that somewhere along the line, somebody failed to mention that Harry doesn't need a photographer. Because why? Prince Harry is a photographer. He's a wildlife photographer. He even said in an interview, if he had the choice of doing, different careers, whatever, he would be a wildlife photographer. These are his photos. These are also Prince Harry's photos, and all you had to do was go to Sussex Royal. These are all Sussex Royal, These are all on Sussex Royal. You can see the copyright. And also this was saying, next we invite this is part of a, whenever they would put up these photos, they would put a long description about what the photos mean and where they were and all of those things. And this is a little part of that where they're mentioning Harry's photos. It's like, next we invite you to scroll through a series of 8 photos taken by the Duke of Sussex, copyright Duke of Sussex, sharing his environmental point of view. And it's just like, yeah, Harry is a photographer. He doesn't need to bring a photographer. Yeah, they've used Chris Jackson. They've used, Alex Lubinowski, or however he says his name. They've used Misan Harriman, but Harry doesn't need a photographer because why? He is one, So even if it's true that the Queen banned a photographer, Harry could take the photos, and Meghan also does photography. Here are some. These photos are amazing. Again, these are the part of the series of 8 that they mentioned. These are all Harry's photography. And so it's so funny because this whole thing is, as I said in a couple of episodes, it's like, The British tabloids know that they are photographs. They know that photographs were taken. And the whole thing is to manipulate Harry and Meghan in, it's sort of like reverse psychology. If we say that you have no photos and the Queen ban you, then we can manipulate you into releasing those photos because we just think you're going to want to prove yourself that no, see, we have photos. The tabloids are not going to be like, please, which is what they're really thinking. Please, can you please release the photos so we can see them? They're not gonna let you know they're begging, obviously. But of course, that is exactly what they're doing. They're totally begging Harry and Meghan to release the photos that they know that they have. And so it's just, again, the whole thing, and again, the whole thing is, to manipulate, and the whole thing is to get Harry and Meghan to do their bidding, and to manipulate their schedule and to do things when they want them to do things. And so we've talked about this at length before, but it's for me just very, very, very interesting that this is the thing, that this is the thing. And it's, then we also had them trying to go in on Meghan's podcast. Meghan's podcast is late. It's, all kinds of things. When is she going to release her podcast? So many, it's like this desperation for Sussex content, so many headlines about Meghan's podcast. Where is it? Why is it delayed? Is it because they're dealing with Spotify is, dead and all? A myriad of things, and it just, all, again, Spotify told us it'll be out in the summer. This is the summer, so whenever they want to put it out, they'll put it out. But of course, the British press, desperate for content, and again, in a failed attempt to manipulate the Sussexes into doing their bidding and releasing stuff when they want it. Again, it's the whole thing, as we know, is just control. They want to have some kind of control, and as you saw with the photos, they didn't get their way because nothing was released. You would think they would learn their lesson, but oh no, they don't. They just move on. So it was podcast, and now it's this. Now today it's like Harry's heartfelt memoir delayed over potential surprise for a big launch. I don't know what surprise. I never heard about a big launch, but doesn't stop the Queen's and the royal family's press from saying that. Prince Harry's upcoming intimate and heartfelt memoir could be delayed due to a potential surprise of a big launch. What? Then GB News chimed in. Prince Harry's memoir delayed again after being scheduled for May release. When exactly was it scheduled for a May release? It's always been a fall release, but maybe in the UK fall is in May. I don't know. And of course, the Daily Mail chimes in. Oh, Prince Harry's controversial tell-all memoir has been delayed until next year. Buckingham Palace gets to breathe a sigh of relief for now. And then you read on, and it's like, omission of Harry's heartfelt memoir reportedly raised eyebrows in royal circles, which makes you wonder, it's always a raised eyebrows. It's like everybody's raising an eyebrow. It's just really wild. Leaving it off the publisher, Penguin Random House, most likely would have teased book by now. Leaving it off the upcoming list suggests it could be delayed beyond autumn release, but publisher insists there's nothing to be extrapolated from that. If you look at the the top of that is, it's been delayed, and then you read on a little, and it could be delayed. It's possibly could be delayed, and then, well, the publisher says nothing could be extrapolated from the fact that it's not on the release list. It's just, it makes your head spin when you read that, British tabloid headlines. I'm not suggesting you go read this article. This is just what's, that's just the headline part of things. And then Marie Claire jumped in. Prince Harry's bombshell memoir has apparently been delayed. Well, the royal family is probably relieved. Again, the desperation for Sussex content, spinning it all kinds of ways to manipulate so they can find out when it's coming out, and it's just such nonsense, And then you get this from the Daily Beast: Prince Harry's memoir may be delayed, causing raised eyebrow at the palace. Again with the raised eyebrows. Royal Insider told the Sun on Sunday, if the book's coming out this year as originally planned, it should have been in the publisher's marketing and promotion list, unless they're planning a surprise or there's been a delay. Its omission raised a lot of eyebrows in the royal circle. Those raised eyebrows. It's gonna be stuck there one day. Indeed. A spokesman for Transworld, part of Media Random House, told The Sun on Sunday, we don't put every book on the list, so there's nothing to be extrapolated from that. And it's hilarious. Again, the desperation of spinning it in one way to get the results in the other way. They spin it on the negative. It's like, oh, it's been delayed. Oh, it's been this. Oh, it's been that. So that they can, in hopes that the Sussexes are going to come out and be like, oh, no, it's going to be on this date, and it's so wild to see this. I mean, you would think they would learn by now, but no, they don't. They just keep going. It is just, it is unbelievable that they do stuff like this, and it just, from one thing to the other, and they just are of the belief that the Sussexes is going to fall for their drama. And I'm just so happy that Harry and Meghan just don't fall for the nonsense, so, but it's just, I mean, again, it was one of those days where I'm like, it's very slow, and I just, for some reason, started thinking about photography and stuff, and it just led me into that, and then I fell into another rabbit hole today, with this. There is this young lady from Kenya. Don't ask. This is not about the Sussexes at all. But I just got onto this, with Wimbledon going on. I ran into this story today of this young girl, the girls' doubles, being, and you'll see where I'm going with this because it's a whole long rabbit hole this led me into. This young lady, Angela Okotoye, from Kenya, and Rose Marie Niekamp from the Netherlands, they won the girls' doubles, and apparently this was the first time someone from Kenya has been a champion at Wimbledon, and kudos to her, and actually both girls, and you can see the trophy at the top left, and Tennis Kenya, which is like, yeah, Tennis Kenya. I didn't even know there was someone from Kenya playing tennis at Wimbledon this year. So it was a wonderful surprise. And Tennis Kenya on the top left says, a perfect gift to mark 100 years. Thank you, Okotoye Angela, too, at Wimbledon. And the bottom is, you can see both girls. They're young girls. I don't know. Maybe they're like 15, 16, maybe. And they're, I guess that they're coaches and maybe parent there. You can see them in the middle. History is made. Angela Okotoye and Rose Malcolm win the girls' doubles, making the Angela Okotoye and Rose Marie Niekamp win the girls' doubles final, making Angela the first Kenyan player to win a Grand Slam. And I just think it's just a wonderful, wonderful story. And Wimbledon tweeted out about it. Wimbledon's first Kenyan champion, Okotoye Angela too, and Dutch partner Rosemary Niekamp. They got the doubles title after a brilliant comeback. Yeah, they lost the first set, as you can see on the board right under that picture, on the top right. It was they lost the first set 6-3 and then came back to win it 6-4, and I think it's 11-9 in the final set. So it was a great comeback for them and to win it. And the funny thing with her, Angela, is that in the singles, she lost in the first round. And she said that the world's number one, I don't remember what her name is because I only realized, I hadn't paid attention to tennis since Serena had been a break. And so there's this number one girl that I was like, who was that? Never heard of this girl before, and apparently she is incredible. And so she actually encouraged Angela, and and it was so inspiring to Angela. Now Angela went home a champion, and it's funny, the world number one got knocked out. It's just wild how these things work. But it's so funny when, if you look at the second post, the second thing on the right, Tennis Kenya decided, well, since we have a champion, let's just go get her some perks. So Tennis Kenya tweeted out at Kenya Airways, because I guess Angela's flying back from Kenya Airways. They tweeted out at Kenya Airways, a polite request to Kenya Airways, at Kenya Airways, should our champion be under what is it, KQ from London to Nairobi? A business class upgrade is not too much to ask. I was like, you go, Tennis Kenya. They're looking for some perks for their little champion. So, or their young lady champion. So I hope she get her upgrade to business class, and enjoy the perks of being a Wimbledon champion. So I just thought it was just such a wonderful story to see these two young girls. And I don't know if there's ever been a Dutch champion. I have no idea, but there they are. Miss Rosemary Niekamp is, she is she is a champion. So I'm just so very proud of both girls. And again, for Miss Kenya, you go. And here, these are bigger pictures of them on the court, and I don't know if the picture on the right is before or after the game, but it's great to see their smiling faces. And this is them at the top left, I guess, with family and friends, and the bottom as well with family and friends. And so I just think it was just a wonderful thing for Wimbledon to see these young girls and to see them blossom like that, because by next year they'll be in the senior draw, and so it's good for them. Kudos. And then the men's final was also today with Nick Kyrgios, however he says his name, and Novak Djokovic. And these, if you know anything about tennis and know anything about their characters, they're both bad boys. They're both very emotional, very sometimes belligerent, and sometimes just downright rude. And, they both have that behavior a lot of times. And so, but what has been happening a lot with, yes, Nick on the right, very much, temperamental, bad boy in every way. But Novak Djokovic is the same way. And, one of the things that's happened a lot of times is like people like John McEnroe, who was one of the most boorish, rude, temperamental, argumentative, behave horrible on court kind of player. He's been one of the people that's been, going after Nick. And it's just like, but you're all the same though. You're the absolute same. Novak Djokovic do the same, and a lot of others in court. But apparently today was at the finals. Nick, amazingly, Novak was I hadn't seen the match, but so I was following it via Twitter. Apparently Novak was very calm today, and he ended up winning it. And Nick was all over the place and having his temper tantrum and meltdown. And apparently he was using some foul language. And so what happened is, how many of them has done that exact same thing, and, nothing happens. And Nick was having his meltdown. And, on the finals, there's always the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. And today they brought their oldest son, George, with them. And so Nick was having his meltdown, and I guess he was using foul language. And then different people and a lot of Brits and the papers were like, they were up in arms because he's cussing, and the royal box is right there, and how can he be cussing when there's a child, Prince George is there, and all of that stuff. And people were going on, and it was just like, are you serious? First of all, the Duchess of Cambridge, Kate Middleton, is the patron of Wimbledon. she would have known who these players are. She would have known if she did any research who Nick Kyrgios, or however he says his last name is, and then decide to bring their child, and not only that. And I was like, I mean, these were some of the things people were saying. Metro, I just pulled out these few. There was like tons of them. Metro was like, Prince George not impressed by Nick Kyrgios swearing in front of the royal box. Richard Eden chimed in, all this foul language. Does Nick Kyrgios not realize Prince George is watching? And you're like, are you serious? Somebody named Steve says Prince George is going to pick up all kind of new words listening to Nick Kyrgios. I don't know how he says his last name, Kyrgios, today. And another one chimed in with a last name William. Prince George learning a few new words today. And care of Nick Kyrgios. Probably nothing his granddad hasn't already taught him. At least Phil was on point. He knows, if you're Prince Philip's grandchild, he's taught you a few things. And another one chimed in, Prince George asking his mother Catherine about the meaning of those 20 different swear words Nick Kyrgios using while playing against Novak Djokovic at Wimbledon. And I was just like, are you people? So I tweeted out, not in response to any of the, not at any of those people, but in general, I was like, for you hypocritical British people who are claiming that Nick Kyrgios' language is tainting your precious future king, and somehow this is his first exposure to foul language, well, let me remind you that his father, Prince William, is worse than Nick Kyrgios. And so I posted this this excerpt from a Robert Jobson's book. Robert Jobson had his book serialized in one of the royal family's favorite tabloids that's part of their rota. And so I pulled this up, and I was just like, William is worse. And so the excerpt says, Jobson continued, William's fiery temper can blow up at any time, usually when he's frustrated or when it comes to an issue regarding his family. Even senior members of his circle will check which way the wind is blowing before becoming too self-assured in his presence or raising problematic issues that might better be addressed at another time. And another part of it says, other insiders confide that William can be an emotional character who is on occasions difficult to handle. Hello, Nick Kyrgios. Sometimes the level of William's belligerence has shocked his father, who also always loathed confrontation. The result is that Charles tends to tread carefully when dealing with their heir and fails to pull him up on his lack of respect. This is where he reports that Camilla will step in, And so this is William's character. And these people are like, do you know who George's father is? Yes, there is nothing in there that specifically says that he swears and does, and that he is belligerent and disrespectful in front of George. But kids know these things, And it's funny because you would think, and this is my little rabbit hole I went in, and as you saw the same, excerpt that I just read is from Marie Claire. And it's like, why, you would think it's like, why is Petal using excerpt from Marie Claire? You mean Marie Claire is a tabloid and they do all this negative stuff about Harry and Meghan. But guess what? Marie Claire was the only place that had it together like this, like really succinct and, together like this. And the only other place that I could get this information from that I knew was there a while ago, and the only other place that I could get this information from and further information from was Celebrity. And so they had, they also got excerpts from the original when Robert Jobson serialized it. And so from Celebrity, it says, Prince William has notable short fuse and is difficult to handle, and he screams at staff. That was their headline. And this is a couple of excerpts from that from their presentation of this. It says, in common with many of the other established couples, he and Catherine, whom he married in 2011, he has been past all of that stuff. It says whom he married in 2011, but has been dating since around 2003, are known to have heated exchanges from time to time. He can be a bit of a shouter when he loses it. One close aide admit, if it's fair to say, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, that's what's on my mind. It's fair to say that Duke and Duchess give as good as they get. If their disagreement results in raised voices, but they know each other so well, it usually blows over quickly. And she is, on the whole, a major calming influence on him, I guess. And another part talks about his belligerence and lack of deference. And again, this is all from Robert Jobson's book. It says, sometimes the level of William's belligerence has shocked his father, who also loathed confrontation. The result is that Charles tends to tread carefully when dealing with the heir, and fails to pull him up on his lack of respect. A senior former member of the royal household explained, William sometimes appeared to forget that there is a hierarchy in which he ranks below his father. When it comes to his father, it is as if William thinks they are as direct heirs to the throne on a level. Another well-placed source agreed, deference does not appear to be in his vocabulary when it comes to his father. And so I started thinking about all this when I saw all that stuff about, making it look like Prince George's ear has never heard stuff like this. And I'm like, nah, his father has a short fuse. And if he goes off on his mother, on Prince George's mother, Kate Middleton, Prince George has heard this before, and it talks about William being emotional and just really disrespecting Charles. And I'm telling you, if he's disrespected Charles, I wouldn't be surprised to hear that he may have disrespected the Queen as well. As it says, he does when it comes to, that him and his relationship with his father, etc. William does not. He's like, it doesn't appear that it's in his, vocabulary. Showing deference or respect to the hierarchy, respecting his father and the queens, that they're above him. So when they're talking about Nick Kyrgios's attitude, I'm like, ooh, dudes, you gotta, look at the future king. His attitude is worse. His behavior is worse. So anyways, it's so funny because that came to mind when, again, I started off with the young lady from Kenya, and then this whole thing has pulled me down a rabbit hole thinking about tennis and how it relates to the royal family. And the funny thing about it is, when I was talking about why I had to go to Marie Claire, why I had to go to Celebici to get this information, and because again, I don't normally use Marie Claire, but it's funny, I'm using it twice today to get this information. And why does that happen? Because Robert Jobson, when his book was being serialized, he chose the Daily Mail to be the place where his book is serialized. He tweeted about it. I think it was I forgot to pull in the date. I think it was either the 24th or the 25th. He tweeted about the serialization in the tabloid, the Daily Mail, and it's like, has William turned 40? Robert Jobson analysis his book, Robert Jobson analysis his transformation, a new book, William at 40, Making of the Modern Monarch, and that's the Mail online link. When you click on that link, this is what you find on the right. Not found. The Daily Mail also tweeted about it on April 24th. As William turned 40, Robert Jobson's analysis his transformation. But if you click on that link, stuff about happening today is what's on that link. They took the article down. They took that article down because of what we just read. Because in the article from Robert Jobson is this. It's calling out William for his horrible behavior, his horrible temper, his belligerence, and lack of respect for adults. And they took the article down. And it's so wild because we always talk about Royal underscore reporter that she archives these articles. And I couldn't even find the article. And I have to go digging some more for the original article that the Daily Mail wrote about this. Because as we always talk about, they either go back and change these articles or they delete them when it comes to negative coverage of the Cambridges. God alone only knows what they most likely had to pay the Daily Mail to take that down, because or who they threw under the bus to get the Daily Mail to pull this down from their website. So again, that's why I had to get it from Celebici, and that's why I had to get it from Marie Claire, because they took the article down. And notice they took the article down, and this was another chapter, I guess, in the book. Look at what they kept up. Papa doesn't embarrass me, Mama does. William was the crutch for his troubled mother while his brother reveled in freedom of being a spare. Now a new book by Robert Jobson shed light on the family pressures that shapes our future king. And it's really wild that this is the one they left up. They took down where William is shown in a poor light and Charles is shown in a poor light, and left up the one where William talks about, or at least Robert Jobson said that William talked about his mother embarrassing him. And it's really wild, to see that happen right in front of you. And it goes on to say, Harry and William let loose by their mother, Princess Diana, when children. And Harry often felt left out of the Queen Mother, as the Queen Mother and royal staff favored William. That royal staff favoring William, that's a lie. The royal staff, it has been widely documented that the royal staff favored Harry, not William. And Prince Charles was frustrated by the behaviors of the young brothers. And again, it's like this is the one that they kept up. They took down the one with William looking horrible and kept this one up where it paints his mother as the one that embarrasses him. And it's unreal to me. It's absolutely unreal. And if you see at the bottom, it was written by Robert Jobson for the Daily Mail. And for people who love to go reading Robert Jobson, etc., this is who he chose to serialize his book. Unreal. Let's see. And yeah, it just it's amazing to me how there is just, we always talk about the invisible contract and how visible it is, that I think at this point they're not even trying to hide it anymore. It's there and they're just taking advantage of it. And it's amazing to me that William wouldn't stand up and speak out against something that, claimed that his mother basically that his mother is an embarrassment to him. Of course, Robert Jobson book has unflattering things to say about William, rightfully so. But you would think if he loved his mother as much, he would speak out about, her being painted in that light. But so far, nothing. He got them to remove stuff about him, but you would think he would have them remove stuff about his mother. Nope. He left that right up there. And it's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing stuff to watch. Also, moving on from that, the Republic group. These are the Republicans who are itching to overthrow and abolish the monarchy. The Republic group, they have totally changed, because last year they did something to Prince Harry and accused him of impropriety, and really called the Charity Commission to investigate him. And it all turned out, and Harry, of course, fought it. And then it turned out that Harry's and Meghan's book were completely on the up and up. And Republic, they were trying to attack Harry and Meghan, who left, and not, and basically just sort of, and not give them a pass, but they were very lax and lackadaisical about going after the royal family. So when they did that last year, Harry took them, basically, I guess he threatened to sue them. I'm not sure if he threatened to sue them, but when, it came back from the Charity Commission that there was no impropriety, they had to take humble pie and apologize to Harry. And at first they tried to bury it, and then a lot of us were like, you need to publish the apology. You need to publish the apology. They didn't do it until the next day, when all the press and stuff had died down on it. But since that slapping event by Harry, he slapped them, they have been changed. They have, I guess that was their come to Jesus moment, and they have absolutely changed, and they have been really on it. And I say, doing a good job trying to out the royal family. So I came across their tweets today. It says, royals and their fans like to claim that the royal family is busy. To help bolster this image, they talk about how many engagements they issue. January 2022, William did nothing until January 12th, when he handed out honors, which took between 1 and 3 hours. This was at Windsor Castle. 6 days later, he had a phone call on the Zoom, all in one day. There was a brief trip to a museum in London the following day. And he goes on to claim their claim to work hard is a scam. It should be offensive to those who do put in long hours for a tiny fraction of the multi-million-dollar funding we give the royal family. One of our Twitter followers put it succinctly: when they speak of the royals, when they said the royals don't work, they attend. One of our Twitter followers put it succinctly when they said the royals don't work, they attend. And that is so true. They're always attending something and learning something. They don't work. That's very different from working. And as the person said, they don't work, they attend. And so the Republic staff went ahead and did Prince William's schedule. And it's very interesting when you put it in this format. It gives it a whole new perspective on their schedule. And putting it on a platform or on a calendar like this, it really helps to highlight how much they don't work. I mean, look at his first engagement was January 12th. After that, the next following week, he had 3 days of work, and then 2 days of work at the end of January. And that is unreal. When January is supposed to be the month where, you get off running. This was his schedule. And I didn't pull up all of them, but this was his April schedule. He so-called work for 4 days. One of them was a video call, and one of them was the Anzac Day Memorial. The other two are, I guess you can call them office things. But it's just really wild to me that this is your future king, and this is what he's doing. Working literally 4 days, if you could call that work. It is just unreal to me that people aren't protesting this. And this is his June schedule. The first week, as part of, that was part of the Jubilee. And so they did, couple of stuff with the Jubilee, etc. But that was that 4 days or 5 days, however long that was. That was, majority of it Jubilee stuff. And, it is just, you look at the rest of the calendar, how much time these people have on their hands. Part of this so-called engagement was one, going to a museum. They also went to the Grenfell service for, I think those things are usually 45 minutes to an hour. But this is all William did in June. This is all he did in June. How does this warrant the $1 million salary that they command? So it actually in May, which I don't have here. I'll put the link to this in the show notes. But in May, his schedule did go up a little bit, but a lot of it were Zoom calls, private Zoom calls, it's a video calls, etc. That looks like he's doing a lot when it actually he isn't. So again, this is Republic staff's calendar, so that got me motivated. So I thought I would do one for Kate. So I sat here and did one for Kate, and this is Kate's. this is Kate's. This is Kate's work for January. Kate did not start working until the 18th of January, at which point she proceeded to do 6 days of work for the whole year. I'm sorry, for the whole of January. 6 days of work. And a lot of those are meetings, and it's unreal to me that they are allowed to do this. And so this was Kate's January schedule, and this is her February schedule. She works like 2 days a week. This is her big. I mean, I'm doing this so that anybody who tries to come at you about how busy Kate is or busy William is, this is why putting their schedule in this format is so important and eye-opening, because it really gives you the sense of how much these people actually work, which is not a whole lot, because some of these is, they hold a meeting, but they're right there at Kensington Palace holding a meeting. The people, or sometimes the people would come, most times people would come to them, or they would do video calls, like you look on the 9th, and it's both things she did is video calls, and it's interesting. She attended the rugby training. We remember that, going to the rugby training, and that's considered work. It's just unreal. And this is her March schedule. And if you notice this March schedule, the majority of the things she does is when they went on the Caribbean tour. Before the Caribbean tour, it was 2 days a week of work. And then after the Caribbean tour, it was 1 day. It was that Thanksgiving service for Prince Philip, his Thanksgiving service, where Prince Andrew escorted the Queen down the aisle. That's very funny, by the way. Very funny thinking about that. But that's all she did. If it wasn't for the Caribbean tour, Kate would be merrily along with her 6 days a week, or 6 days a week per month work schedule. And this is her April schedule. I mean, that was even worse. She did 3 days of work. And one of the days was going to the Anzac Day service. And it's just unreal. Absolutely unreal. 3 days of work, all of April. She could say, well, I went away with my kids because I guess, part of that was, spring break or whatever you call it in the UK. But again, these people are paid millions of dollars to work. And this is what they put in. If you look at the Sovereign Grant report that we just had, they got about, $4 million to work. And this is their work. And this is the May schedule, again. This is 6 days of work for Kate Middleton. And one of those was just attending a garden party, those Queen's garden party. Yeah, one of the days was the garden party. And it's just unreal. And then this is her June schedule. It's, okay, it was a little bit more. But the June schedule, a lot of that, especially the first week, was the Queen's Jubilee. Hence, there was like 3 straight days of work, and one on the Sunday. You could say 4 days of work, because a lot of that, again, all of that was the Jubilee. And then, then you look after that is the regular 2 days until you come to the bottom, where, where I think she was in Denmark or something. Or somewhere, I don't remember. but it's interesting to me that that this is the kind of thing that they do. at least, at least in June, where she has what, 3, 5, 8 days of work, or so-called work. Again, some of those are meetings at Kensington. The majority of the meetings are at Kensington Palace, and then some of them are phone calls and video calls. And the other few times is actually going out to, a charity or a school or whatever, to make it look like they're doing stuff. But it's unreal. This is her June schedule. And, if you look at the 23rd was the last day in June she worked. July, which I didn't pull in here, was the first time we saw her after the 23rd was the 5th of July. And I think that was a Wimbledon thing. And so it is just, again, it's unreal to me that this is what they do. This is the kind of work. And again, this came out of this, talk about a rabbit hole. This came out of thinking about this young lady from Kenya winning the girls' championship, led me all the way to Kate Middleton's calendar. Because we saw her at Wimbledon, and it was kind of interesting with Wimbledon because they were banning Russians from being at Wimbledon, and because I guess they don't want Kate Middleton to be shaking hands with a Russian. And what happened? A Russian win. The Russian win the girls. And apparently, and I don't know, I didn't watch the match, but apparently she didn't shake the girl's hand at the end. But I mean, I did see a picture of her talking to the young lady who won Wimbledon. And first time in my life hearing about this young lady, and kudos to her. But it's so funny. She is, born, I guess it lives in Russia. I think, she may go under another flag. I think, I don't remember what country they claim she is from, but she was born in Russia and live in Russia. And so they didn't ban her because I guess she apparently represents another country. But again, she is Russian. And, so it was very funny to me. But yes, that's my little rabbit hole, going down that rabbit hole that led me to Kate Middleton's to putting together Kate Middleton's calendar. And again, it's important to see their calendar like this because you see all the freedom they have. And when you look at a lot of the things that, especially, that say William and Charles and Camilla and stuff, what they especially Charles, the majority of the things on Charles's schedule is his personal project. It is not stuff for the monarchy. It's not stuff. It's his personal pet projects that they pad. The same thing with William. When you look at it, Kate is a little bit more in the sense that she's, most of, other than going off to meet people, quite a bit of her schedule is the early years, early childhood things. So I guess she is probably, mildly passionate about it, I guess. And, she has to show that she's been doing something, I guess. But it's just, when you see it the schedule laid out like this, you realize how much time these people have on their hands. And I'm like, well, no wonder they meddle in gossip, because what the Bible talked about, idle hands that I don't know, maybe I'm misquoting the Bible about idle hands and gossiping, because look at all the time they have. So they're like, no wonder they leak stuff, because they have all this time to do nothing. And so what happens? You get into mischief when you have this much time on your hands. So yeah, it just the utter laziness is unreal to me, but with their schedule. And, again, the importance of looking at their schedule in the calendar like this is when you see something like this. This is the court circular. And this is where this is where I got all of that information to put Kate's calendar together. This is where the Republic group got all their information to put William's schedule together. And this is how the court circular lays it out. And the way how they lay it out is so wordy, and they put so much stuff in there that it literally looks like they're doing a lot of stuff, because it's so much stuff they put into one engagement that by the time you finish reading one of the engagements, you feel like they've been working for 12 hours a day, and you feel like they work every single day of the year. And then you put it on the schedule like we laid it out, and you see how different it is, and you see that what the truth of this actually is. So again, I'm going to put a link to the court circular, but this is what it looks like, and this is the layout of the schedule is on the right. It's usually right below it, but I had to do it this way so you can see it. And so yeah, it's unreal. And I think they probably lay it out like this so that they know by the time people finish reading and you pack it with all this information for one engagement, it really sort of messes with your mind to think that they're doing a lot when in fact they really are not doing a lot at all. So kudos to the Republic group, who again, as I said, have probably most likely had their come to Jesus moment after being slapped by Prince Harry. And they have been actually doing a really good job calling out the royal family and their nonsense. And so they have this long thread today with Wimbledon's schedule. So kudos to them and for inspiring me to put together Kate Middleton's schedule. And so, yeah. So I guess, anybody can change, and they seem to have changed for the better and leaving Harry and Meghan alone. Plus, the squaddies have been going after them for that nonsense. So it's like, Harry and Meghan don't live here. Why are you attacking two people who don't live here? So, but anyways, very interesting. So anyways, guys, that's it. That's all I got. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to put my little scrolly thing back. Please subscribe, as the scrolly thing says at the bottom. Join our 2 cents crew, so that if you'd like to support the channel, we would most appreciate it. Again, you don't have to do any of it, but if you'd like to support us, please support us. We have definitely love it. Also, you can join our 2 cents crew. Yeah, I think I just said that. My brain just my brain just went out on me again. But anyway, like and share the video. Definitely like. Please give us a like at the bottom and share the video. Apart from, joining the 2 cents crew, there are many ways you can support us. At the bottom of this video, you'll see a $sign and a heart and a thanks. You can support our video that way. Just click there and you can donate. We also have PayPal. We have Cash App. You can donate that way as well. We also do have merchandise. Let's get our merchandise in here. Yep, we do have merchandise. The link will be in the show notes, as it always is. So if you'd like to, get some merchandise, definitely please do. We also have art from my dad. If you're interested in art, definitely the same link. You can just scroll and you can see his artwork there that you can purchase as well. So again, no obligation, but if you'd like to support us, definitely go ahead and do it. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all. I will see you next time, and hopefully next time, we'll do a live. And that way we can all be a part of it. So again, tonight was just too late. I was like, I'm not going to bother anybody to try to watch this video. Way too late to do that. Let's just drop this and you guys can watch it whenever you like. So we're going to end this right now with some music as usual. We're going to go back in a space and end this with some music. And I will see you all next time. Huge love. And yep, ending with some inner space. See you guys next time. Bye.